as a public analyst, you're very good at determining where the direction of a society is going by, sampling all of this. There's serious developments in the executive, in the legislature, even, with the judiciary. Some people have said that, we might be going, some cynics have said that the country might be tending towards anarchy. Some people have also said that this might culminate in our revolution and something better might come out of it. What do you make of this?
Well, you see, these are challenges every nation has. And at every point in time, those challenges come. And what they do is to strengthen. It's like a husband and a wife. There are always challenges that come, but after it becomes stronger. And I believe we are going to come out stronger as a nation, because all you need to do is go out and meet a Nigerian out of this country. The pride, the confidence, the brotherliness that exists is something else. So what is happening here is that people are using regional, religious, other sentiments to draw political capital. And unfortunately, there's so much pressure on political capital, because that is where even the economy draws from. So there's so much pressure. And by the time we begin to grow the private sector, by the time we encourage and enable individuals, improve the private sector, you have less pressure on governance. And when there's less pressure on government, when people can earn their living without having to go to government, then there will be less the desperation for political office. And of course, all this talk about Nigeria breaking and all that will be reduced, because you are now, your fate now becomes in your hand.
You know, the irony of this all, what comes to mind is what we do to ourselves in all of this. A case in point is maybe you're from Plateau State, you can't even get a job in maybe another state. And you ask yourself, why is it that as a Nigerian, in all the 36 states of the Federation, you are from state A, you can get a job in other state. But you have those who are non-Nigerians getting and feeding fat from the government. Is it about politics, or is it about the man that can help you move funds in a way out of the country? Because people really don't get a picture where you can't employ a non-Nigerian. You say you're not from this state, but you would have in the pay list of that particular government an expatriate.
Yeah, I think those are the problems for one reason or the other that the government is also trying to regulate, or those are challenges being addressed. Because sometimes, for reason best known to certain operators, they seem to create a situation where it's impossible, or do not create such opportunities for Nigerians to operate in their country, or some to operate in their states. And that is why we believe that an economy that is private sector driven is key. Because at the end of the day, when you start your business, you are not looking at whether this man is from this state, or is my tribe, or my religion. You are looking at who will add value to what you are doing. If you have a cleaner in the office, you want to see the place clean. It is not that he bears the same name with you that makes your office clean, or receives your guests or clients. So those are issues that, as we gradually begin to encourage businesses, entrepreneurs to flourish, these problems will naturally be off our scene. I tell you, most of these problems are because most people see their destiny tied around government and government jobs.
Still talking about businesses, we need to, I want to ask a question about small-scale businesses, which is also very pivotal when it comes to a country growing, the growth of a country. Now, how well should the government attach itself to the growth of this small-scale business? Because they've complained about funds over and over again. And now added to their problem is the issue of insecurity.
Well, I believe that there is a lot that has been done. I recall that the former Minister of State for Commerce and Industry, Josephine Tabun, did a lot in terms of encouraging small-scale industries and entrepreneurs. I recall that there was even a special funding, and it still exists in Bank of Industry, where women can access funds to grow their industries. If you go to Smedan, there's also training, and you recall that she encouraged a lot of training for women to be able to go into entrepreneurship. Now, those are areas that people need to exploit.
But how accessible are these funds? Because some people will argue on the streets. I mean, if you go outside right now and talk to an average Nigerian, what do you need? I need money. I don't know how to get it. How accessible are these funds to an ordinary Nigerian who doesn't have any connection, who doesn't know anybody?
Well, sometimes I watch this program in your station, BOI, and you begin to see stories of businesses that have accessed these funds and they are growing. The fact remains that some of these financial industries also have challenges. Somebody will come with a good proposal, collect money, the next day he's marrying a third wife, or building a house, or going to contest election with the money. So sometimes they need to put these structures in place to be sure that the money that you are getting will go in. I mean, remember also industries like Innoson, the company that is producing vehicles in Nigeria, got a lot of money from the BOI to assist in the production of vehicles in the country.
Now, you talk about this structure. It appears we can hardly make any meaning of this without assessing Nigeria's anti-corruption drive. How would you assess Nigeria's anti-corruption drive?
Well, the Nigerian anti-corruption drive, I believe, is on course, and the fact, and we've been taking away. People like a lot of drama. A lot of James Bond, will go and break this man's car and enter the house, put him in handcuff and all that. At the end of the day, the man is out on the streets because you have not done your homework. You have nothing to hold him because you allow yourself as an institution to be used for political problems that exist between people, like we saw during the era of General Obasanjo, where he hounded even our governor from Plateau State, Chief Dari, for no other reason than politics. And today, people are being vindicated. So I believe that the anti-corruption agencies are taking their time to establish cases before committing trials by media.
Now, sorry,
and that in itself is very important.
I think some Nigerians will disagree with you. They will say this is another tactics by the anti-corruption agencies to also not even bring people to book, because if they have taken more than enough time, by now we should have at least seen some kind of result that will say this is it.
You see, the anti-corruption, the work of security is supposed to be silent in nature. You see the action, but you don't make so much noise. You understand? We were, Nigerians were taken on a ride by the former boss who was more into theatrics. And at the end of the day, there was no substance. Now, there are so many cases that are ongoing, being prosecuted by these agencies without making so much noise.
No.
Why? Because the nature is such that it is not fair for a man to be prosecuted on the media, to be announced even guilty, and then before he even goes on trial. Now, I believe that the direction being taken is the best. Let's do it. And also, don't forget that these are institutions that should be allowed to grow. That's the problem we are having. We are having where personalities are dominating institutions. And for a nation to grow, you recall that when President Clinton came, he said, look, Africa needs strong institutions, not strong men. Nigerian institutions need to grow. They need to grow. They need to be allowed not to be dominated by personalities who see themselves larger than life.
Now, let me ask you this. A lot of people are pointing to the 70s where the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution is independent of the Office of the Attorney General. Would you subscribe or go back to these days?
Well, it's all about semantics as far as I'm concerned. The fact remains that when a man is guilty, when a man is accused, he should face the law. He should be able to go and prove whether he's right or wrong. So I believe, like you said earlier on, it's not that we don't have the laws, it's not that we don't have the ideas, it's the implementation that is lacking. No matter the level or the efficacy of a law or a structure you have, until there is a willingness and a desire to ensure the implementation, it will be to no avail.